First of all, I want to drop in on the bar style. On this chart is a creation of JB. He calls it the Hague bar. Hague stands for Holy Axe Grail. Okay, so this is his bar. And what he tried to do was, for a directional move, to try to avoid any red bars in this up move. Okay, so that is that. Now, where am I going to go next? Over the last 2 to 3 years, I have been on the internet observing those in the technical analysis field selling their various indicators and so forth, and services and trading rooms, etc., etc. I suppose I should be doing the same. Maybe I will someday. But what is surprising to me is that they're all looking, I think, basically is for a line to buy against, etc., etc. Seems to be the case. That's great. I mean, that's what I started to do in the 1960s. I took the monthly 5-2 and saw how the daily behaved at that price point. So essentially what everyone is looking for is something simple. Now, look at this chart. I mean, for the usual person looking at this chart, it looks so busy. It is very, very busy looking. Now, that is why, let me see, how am I going to put this? Remember doing a lot of studying on the human brain, and I think I wrote Pinel's Association with Awareness that basically the brain is out of control. I remember at one time as I was driving up to summer home, 4 lanes of traffic, trying to keep in my mind and repeating it. Let's say the sentence, I feel great. And as I drove along, I kept saying, I feel great, I feel great. And sure enough, as a result of the study I had done on the mind, is that, I forget how it is, after a minute and a half, the mind basically says, okay, it goes on to something else. In other words, I found that after a minute or two, I think it was 2 minutes, I stopped saying I feel great, and my mind went on to some other topic. That states that the mind is out of control. And I guess with dementia, the advantage is that it's not thinking of 40,000 things at the same time. It's just simply saying, oh, there's a cookie on my plate. What do I do with that? Simple focus. Therefore, when you look at a chart, as in all technical analysis, whoever, Elliott Wave, Kahn, Fibonacci, it always seems to be a line. So I have found that something helps with this messy chart. In that as the day progresses, to stop my mind from being all over the place, even though with dementia I cannot handle 1,000 things anymore. I can just handle 5. Where's my hand? Where's the doorknob? Where's the mouse? My keyboard or something. So I have found that if I created this little thing in NinjaTrader, it's a charting window, and it's a focus to me. Look, buy. Red disappears. Oh, so red disappears, spikes hold. Red. So I'm down at this price area. And I'm fogging out, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm in McDonald's hamburger, and I think they sell potatoes or something. So I look up, I see a billboard, and oh, looks like meat in buns or something. So when I go to McDonald's, I'm sort of forced to look at a menu. But when I got out of the car and went into McDonald's, I mean, I had to fight a lot of slobbering people. By the time I got to the counter, a worn-out teenager with this funny brown hat on is saying, "Can I take your order?" In the meantime, you got 40 people lined up behind you. You got 1 second to look at all these screens up there, different kinds of hamburgers, and you. Hey, quarter pounder? Okay, that's what I got in Toronto 40 years ago when the first McDonald's hamburger store opened up in Bloor. There you were, quarter pounders. What I'm saying is, when you look at this chart, any chart, the mind can be out of control. And can the mind look at this, let's say, 8 hours a day? What I'm saying is, I have found it very handy to have these words to the side of my chart. That's all I have to do. Okay, so I'm down here, right? Yeah, it's a line, whatever, but I can say to myself, all right, red. If it's a buy, red disappears. Well, in this bar, I would be seeing green developing. This is a 200 tick, so I could have a tick counter here, but I would see that there's some green coming on, because you don't want to be buying unless it's green. You don't want to be selling unless it's red. Does that make sense? So, if so, you're getting green, and the other thing you have to think about, and that's it, is that the spike holds, this thing, that was created out of, what, those 12,000 patterns or some stupid thing? But I learned how to, whatever, hone termination of energy, and somehow this came up. I'm crazy, okay? So, this is part of the axe, this is part of the old whatever. The thing is, it's like the PL dot. It pushes price, and when you're buying, buy, red disappears. Oh, cuts in green, go long, spike holds. How simple can it be? Look up here. Green is disappearing. Why do I say that? Well, it's getting smaller. This is on a 200 tick. It's on gold. It's getting smaller. So, I can go short. Sale. Green disappearing. Green is disappearing. What? Spike holes. That's it. At that point, you can say, well, all right, blah, blah. Well, yeah. In other words, price does not go through these two upper red lines, and they do not go through these lower green lines, or the space between this green line and that green line. Price just doesn't go through it. It can go down in it. How do you know that? Well, sale. Green disappears. Do you see green there? Okay. No. Do you see green there? Well, let's put it this way. A buy. Red disappears. Is red disappearing there or there? Yes. The spike will hold. The spike will hold. Green getting smaller. I mean, what is it? Let's say you got in short at dot forward, so you can make $30 in what? 10 minutes. But the point is, green getting smaller, a sale, green will disappear, and the spike will hold. Now, it's that simple. Honest to gosh, let's just check. And it's going to be your job, because I'm not going to do it, to cross-check it on the monthly, cross-check it on the weekly, cross-check it on the hourly, cross-check it on the 5-minute, 30-minute volume chart. This is the 50 tick on gold. Get a toenails chart or something. Okay, wait a moment. Where did that thing go? Here. Okay? If it is a buy here, now, after the fact, you can see that it happened. But during this activity here, with this in mind, buy, red disappears, you see the reds going sideways, you see the spikes are holding, and then you start to see some green. I'm saying go long. This chart is telling me this price area is being bought. Period. If so, the spike will hold. Now, price goes up on this 50 tick. This is a 50 tick chart. I mean, this thing's moving fast. Green's disappearing. Getting some red. Sale coming in. Is the spike holding? No. You're not getting any red, and the spike is breaking. So, you can, if you want, reverse long against the spike. you have to get green. Red all of a sudden. Sale. Green disappearing. Look. Spike holds for your sale. Down here. Green. Spike holds. Price is going up. Green's getting smaller. Sale? Well, green's getting smaller. There's a chance that green will disappear. If you want to. Oh, there's some red coming in here. Go short against the spike. What I'm saying is, if this thing starts moving up through that spike, just have you stop above this whatever you want. But if you see it going up through the spike and stuff, you're on alert. This has down in here, if you're going long, it's starting to go through the spike as you go long here. And why are you going long? Well, buy, red's disappearing. Look, you got some green, and the spike holds. I mean, it's that, honestly. It is that simple. I kid you not. And I got some lines on here. What do you think of this line? I believe that's from the 500 tick. That happens to be the mid line of the yellow band or something. Okay. It's a sale, let's say. You're assuming. Well, if it is, you've got to, if that's a sale, this green's got to disappear. Is it? No. There's a green line. If it's a buy, right? Red disappears. You got red, guess what? It's disappearing. And the lower spikes will hold. My suggestion is you have a stop in down here in case your computer breaks down or something. Disaster stop. But all you're thinking of, if it's a buy, this is what unfolds. If it's not unfolding, get the F out. Get out. That's all I'm saying. So you start to complaining about that chart. Let's bring in, for example, and when you get this code, I want you to check out the monthly for me and so forth, because this is a 500 tick. So there's no overlays here. Let's say from the daily, weekly, or the 1,000 tick. This is just a naked one chart. And it's saying at that price, green's disappearing, gotta go short, spike holds, price goes down. I don't see much red there. Starting to get green, spike will hold. Let's say double top. Green's disappearing. Okay. Going to get some red. Spike holds. During this bar, you see some green. Red's disappearing. Spike holds. Goes up. Red disappears. Pardon me, green disappears. Spike holds. Price goes down. Red's starting to disappear. And oh my gosh, you're starting to get some green. All right. Spike holds. Now, Notice what is happening here. It's breaking the spike, but not on close. In other words, this lower green area is holding. That's why I say, have your stop under here and observe what is happening, let's say, in this green area. Because when this bar starts, that price area is a buy, red's going to disappear, and the spike will start to hold again. Okay, so the issue is to take one chart with this very simple situation and have this next to the computer, or like me, on a chart window or something, so that your mind can always have a simple frame of reference when you're trading. So that as you're watching this, you're not fogging out. Green is disappearing, spike holds. You're expecting red down. Red's disappearing, spike holds. You're getting green. Price goes up. Is it a double top? Is this space between here and here resistant? And what I'm saying is, you could have something on this 500 tick from the 10,000 tick on gold, on crude oil, on the ES, on potato chips, on anything. Because if this price area is a sale, green disappears. You're getting red. You're going short. You want this red as a result of that, and the spike must hold. It can go up briefly and then back on down, but if it starts, breaking that spike and doing the whatevers, so you could just trade these red areas and these green areas. If you're buying, red disappears. If you're selling this red area here, green disappears, spike holds. Let me pause this and turn this into a 1,000-tick chart. There you go. This price area is a buy. Red disappears. Spike holds. This is the 1,000-tick chart. So you could be watching the 50-tick, 100-tick, or 200-tick tick in this on this chart. Price area. Green disappears. You're getting some red. Holds. Red's disappearing. Spike holds. Green's disappearing. Spike holds. Red's disappearing. Spike holds. Green's disappearing. Spike holds. Red's disappearing. Spike holds. Now, if you want to, for example, on this 1,000-tick, you can put the yellow brick road on here. The old area theory, if you want. Because at this price area here, in this area 5, what are we calling this thing? What is the what we've been talking about, telling you about that price. What's it telling you about, let's say, Area 6? What's it telling you about Area 5 here? It's telling you what's a sale. No green, spike holds as the spike pushes down. What's it telling you about this price area here? And as we know, with the yellow brick road, it's going to return from area 1, for let's just say, at least to a target of the midline of the yellow brick road. So if that point is a sale, if you want, green's going to disappear and the frickin' spike's going to hold. So down at this price area, if area 1 or area 2 or the seaway down is ending, guess what? Red disappears, spike holds. I mean, you could just play this all day long, and this would be easy trading because with the 1,000 tick chart, you know, 2 or 3 hours a day, you have 5 contracts, whatever. You just play the, that's 100, 200. That's $200 in 1 hour, let's say, between there and there. What did I say? 200? That's 1,000. 5 contracts. That's $1,000. You can make $1,000 an hour. That's all I'm saying. $2,000 an hour, 10 contracts. Whatever. Because if this is a sale, guess what? Now, it's almost a 30-minute movie again. My apologies. This might be my last posting in the open area of Google, and with JB's death, I don't have the capabilities of understanding passwords and stuff that we had on our website. The private area, the institute. I don't know how to do all of that. So I think perhaps the next stage is for me to find out a way to continue on with this for the gang of 3, and as we move forward to continue, if daily, doing a thing on this. And I am seriously thinking of moving my physical location, because where I am is so remote. Get this. My internet bandwidth is 0.5 megabytes per second. 0.5. 10 megabytes per second, according to what I've learned, is considered very low end. I'm 0.5. I'm not even 10. They say that 20 or higher is what you should be having for the internet. 20? I'm 0.5. So if I do move, I think what I want to do, of course, is to move where I can get 20, is to join all the other idiots of the world and have, a trading room? Wouldn't that be fun? I just see that Marxist, black helicopters or something, circling my house and saying, as a certain president of a huge landmass east of Europe and north of India and so forth, as that chappie said, you in the West, you've got no right to be exceptional. Only a Marxist can be exceptional. In a way, I admire Karl Marx. He was right. The human species should be engineered, And recently I'm learning that when babies come out of little mummy's womb, screaming hell, wants to go back into the womb where it's safe, the child now can be legally murdered, done away with. That makes sense. I agree with Karl Marx. One thing about Karl Marx, he said he thought that as two races, especially, should be done away with, should be slaughtered. He said those two races were the Polish people, and even worse than the Polish people were the Scottish people. And I'm Scottish. So maybe Karl Marx is right. I should have been done away with. Why? Because I'm Scottish. Now, what he's saying is I should be put away because I'm not exceptional. I'm getting confused here. I mean, who could be exceptional? I mean, why execute people who are not exceptional? Am I being driven mad? I'm looking forward to Dimension. Okay. So this chappie, north of India, the huge country, he says nobody's got the right to be exceptional, except him, of course. So if you're not exceptional, like the Scottish person, you should be done away with. I'm sorry. I am getting confused. I tell you right now, that argument should create dementia, or if it does, maybe you'll be able to figure it out. Because I can keep it simple. Just like this charting. I mean, you don't want to buy unless the red's disappearing. And this bike has to hold. Excuse me, I'm falling off my chair. Bye for now. Who writes this?